I'm Danielle Hall, and today we're leaning into one of the most persistent and misunderstood phrases I still hear whispered in the community. Sound healing. Isn't that witchcraft? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why that idea exists, how science tells a different story, and what history can teach us about how we got here. Because sound healing isn't about spells or superstition, it's about physics, physiology, and presence. At SoundEmbrace, we dive into sound matters, where science meets soul and curiosity leads the way. Each episode dives into the real, research-backed, and deeply human ways sound shapes healing, leadership, and the art of living a life you love waking up to every day. Because sound isn't just something you hear, it's something you become. Before we dive in, I invite you to pause and to ask yourself, what do I actually believe about healing? What do I actually believe about healing? Who taught you what was medical, mystical, or scientific? Many of us inherited beliefs that healing must look clinical, must look measurable and sterile, that anything involving emotion, intuition, or ritual is esoteric and woo-woo. But what if those worlds were never meant to be separate? Today, we'll separate myth from measurable truth, exploring the real science behind sound healing, the real history behind witchcraft, and how curiosity can free us from the conditioning that keeps us small and stuck. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And keep this intention close to you. What if everything that once felt mystical was simply science we hadn't measured yet? Put that on the shelf. We'll come right back to it. The word witchcraft carries centuries of misunderstanding, fear, and control. But it actually didn't start that way. The Old English word witche, spelled W-I-C-C-E, meant wise one, a woman skilled in nature, herbs, and healing, often a midwife or an herbalist who used sound, chant, and rituals to soothe and restore communities. But as organized religion and centralized governments rose in medieval Europe, the wisdom of these wise women was reframed as dangerous. Between 1450 and 1750, across Europe, roughly 100,000 people were tried for witchcraft, and about 40,000 to 60,000 were executed. Around 75 to 80% were women, often older, poor, or unmarried. These witch hunts weren't just about superstition. They were about power, and it was about property. I'm going to see if I can say this word, so bear with me. The Malus Maleficarum, which is known as the Hammer of Witches, which was written in 1487. This codified persecution by linking women's bodies and intuition to sin. It linked women's bodies and intuition to sin. This was a text combined with early church decrees justified executions and mass confiscation of land from women. Historian Silvia Federici notes that witch hunts coincided with the rise of capitalism and the privatization of common lands in Europe. And many of these accused women were midwives or herbalists who stood in the way of land enclosures and patriarchal control. So when we say witchcraft, we're often naming the erasure of community-based feminine and earth-centered medicine. What was once a sacred role, the caretaker, the herbalist, the sound maker, the shaman, became labeled as evil to suppress both knowledge and ownership. And that narrative stuck. And that ripple effect still lives on today. Today, witchy is often used to describe anything that challenges the mainstream model of wellness, especially practices led by women or indigenous traditions, energy work, sound baths, herbalism, shamanism. But here's the truth. The early midwives and healers worked with vibration, drum beats, lullabies, chants to regulate breath, heart rate, and community rhythm. They were the first nervous system whisperers. So when someone calls sound healing witchcraft, what they're really echoing is centuries of cultural conditioning, this fear of feminine power, fear of the body's wisdom, fear of true connection. And as we'll see next, modern science is finally catching up to what those so-called witches already knew. Let's step into the lab for a minute. Sound is vibration. It's measurable, mechanical energy traveling through air, water, and bone. The human body is about 60% water, making it a perfect conductor. Sound doesn't just touch our ears, it moves through your cells. In medicine, we've used sound therapeutically for decades. Ultrasound therapy to heal tissue and break up kidney stones, focused ultrasound to target tumors non-invasively, vibroacoustic therapy to ease pain and anxiety. Even the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the VA, has implemented sound-based programs for PTSD and chronic pain. In group drumming therapy, veterans experience improved sleep, lower stress hormones, and greater emotional expression. The VA's Healing Arts for Veterans initiative now integrates rhythmic music, drumming, and guided sound relaxation into PTSD rehabilitation. These programs leverage rhythm to reestablish internal timing and balance in the autonomic nervous system. Now let's take it to neuroscience. In neuroscience, when rhythmic input guides neural oscillations. For example, in a 2019 study at the University of Tokyo, rhythmic auditory stimulation improved gait and coordination in Parkinson's patients by synchronizing brainwave activity. EEG studies show slow, repetitive tones can move the brain from beta, which is that alert center, to alpha and theta, which is this relaxed state. This is the science of rhythmic regulation, and it's the same principle your body uses to find calm when you hear waves or a heartbeat. The polyvagal theory explains how sound directly influences the vagus nerve. It lowers heart rate, enhancing safety, and activating parasympathetic rest. But there's more, my friend. Music therapy and oncology units have been shown to lower anxiety and improve pain control. Singing bowl therapy, which is what I do, has demonstrated reductions in systolic blood pressure and heart rate. The body is literally tuned by sound. So when we speak of energy in sound healing, we're not talking about mysticism. We're talking about frequency, resonance, and measurable changes in physiology. What our ancestors described as spirit or aura might now be described as biofield, the measurable electromagnetic field generated by living organisms. The languages differ, but the physics remains the same. A couple of years ago, I facilitated a sound bath for one of my regular group public sessions. And again, I don't know who necessarily is coming into the room, but there was apparently something about how I described what I do that this doctor decided that he was going to try it out. And of course, I didn't know he was a doctor until afterwards, and he told me. So after the session, he comes up to me and he is like, something happened to me. All I could do was smile. I was like, yes, I know. Something happened to you. And he said, I could feel my heartbeat syncing with the sound. And I just nodded. I'm like, yeah, stoked for you. No, my blood pressure dropped. My heartbeat synced with the sound. I need to know more about this. That's not faith, guys. It is physics. Sound healing isn't about making people believe something new. It's about helping the body remember what's already true. Sound healing is not witchcraft. It's biology returning to harmony and wholeness. Now, if you are open to the practice today, we are going to make this about 7 minutes. And if you are not driving and in a place where you can comfortably sit or lie down, and gently close your eyes or cast your gaze down to the floor. And bring your awareness now to the coolness of your breath as you breathe in, and the warmth of your breath as you breathe out. The coolness of your breath as you breathe in, and the warmth of your breath as you breathe out. Bringing your awareness now to the light hums of your breath, of your heartbeat, and then noticing any sounds in your environment. Every sound is vibration interacting with your body. Placing your right hand on your chest. And I invite you to choose a word. Some examples are peace, clarity, release. Any word that lands for you in this moment. And then on your next exhale, I invite you to hum that word. Breathing in. Feel the vibration ripple through you. And allowing now the sounds of these crystal bowls to fill the room. Allowing it to recalibrate your nervous system and aligning your rhythm to the rhythm of harmony and wholeness. Bringing your awareness now back to your body. Inviting in a deep breath in through your nose for 5 counts. And out of your mouth for 5. Again, in through your nose. One last time. And when you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes. Thank you for doing this practice today. I hope you noticed a difference in how you felt before and how you feel now. The word witchcraft once meant wisdom, and over time it became weaponized, used to control and divide. But you can reclaim it. The real craft is connection, learning to listen, to feel, to attune. Sound healing isn't about casting spells. It's about remembering that you are vibration, that your body, your mind, and heart are instruments capable of tuning themselves. So before you dismiss something as esoteric or woo-woo or witchy, pause and ask yourself, what belief am I protecting? Curiosity is the bridge. Coming back to the question that we asked earlier in this podcast, what if everything that once felt mystical was simply science we haven't measured yet? If today's episode resonated with you, I would love to invite you to become a part of the SoundEmbrace family, a community of sound embracers taking ownership of their lives and supporting one another and living lives they love waking up to every day. Explore our free community, the Alignment Lab, or the SoundEmbrace Sound Healing Certification Program. You can find all of this at soundembrace.com. Stay curious, listen deeply, live a life you love.